But the cities of future would not come cheap. According to estimates, each of these cities would cost anywhere between 35,000 to 75,000 crore rupees. So who would foot the bill?
Financing of the DMIC projects is certainly going to be one of the key challenges, requiring great deal of innovation, great deal of very carefully and surgically structured division between public responsibilities and private responsibilities, a true form of public-private partnership, so that both public capital and private capital can join hands in the most efficient manner to be able to produce these results.
In fact, that is the model that is being followed for the DMIC project. The total expenditure is expected to be over $100 billion. And the government of India, along with Japan, would contribute around $10 billion. The rest would be contributed by the private sector. An ambitious target, but does the private sector have that kind of money?
All of this is not coming in 1 year. These townships take anywhere from 5 years to 15 years to develop. So when you see, new cities in India, whether it was Chandigarh or whether it is Noida or others, do take anything from a decade to 2 decades or even longer to develop. So this private capital is not going to be required on day one. It will be required as these projects gather steam and momentum.
But what's there for the private sector? And will it prove to be commercially viable?
There are activities which don't have the ability to generate commercial revenues. Typically, urban roads, sewage, solid waste disposal can generate revenues, but certainly not enough to recover the capital cost. Whereas there are other kinds of activities which are obvious, electricity generation, telecom services, power generation, which can easily be water even, which can be more commercially viable. And those are then left to the private sector. But even where you are looking at public funding, financing those assets, which have to be necessarily financed by public funding, it does not mean, and that's an important distinction to make, it does not mean that the provider of those services has to be the public.
Kant is aware of the situation, and perhaps that is why the DMIC has sought around 18,500 crore rupees to build the trunk infrastructure. Like drainage, water supply and public transport.